Hi, everybody. I'm Sam.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Laura.
And this is
Disney
Dummies. You're really hitting that E today. A little Z on the end. Like that.
Pretty good. Not our best, not our worst, I would say.
Yeah, somewhere in the middle.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Very mediocre. Much
like this movie. No.
I was going to say the same thing. So that brings me to our film today. Welcome, everybody, back to Disney Dummies. As you all know by now, going through our Disney movies in chronological order, and we are at number 8, which puts us in the year of 1946. Today's movie...
Those were the days. Just kidding. It was awful.
You know what? Tongue, what are we watching today?
Well, Sam, thank you. We are watching the wondrous... Actually, I'm not going to give it any adjectives at all. We are watching Make Mine Music.
Make mine a double.
I was waiting for the joke.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it did.
So with this movie, man, so we've been going through, this is number 8 now, and I think we're halfway through the movies that we've all never seen before, and I've never even heard of this movie before at all. And
it's the only one not on Disney Plus.
Yeah, this one was, I have to say, this one was really hard to find.
I wonder why.
Like, it was really hard to find. I was going through, like, it used to be on YouTube. It used to be on the Google Play Store. It used to be on...
You could rent it, but then, I was having troubles. Like, I couldn't get it.
We found it somehow. Let's just say that.
We got it.
We got it somehow. But I wish it was on Disney Plus, truly. I really do.
I do think
I don't know
all the individual shorts are on YouTube if you wanted to go through them separately.
Oh, that's good to know. It takes away from the experience.
Yeah, the full experience of this.
Well, this one didn't have anything like tying the shorts together, so.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Except for music, I guess.
Tying
but none of the music
together.
was the music wasn't, it didn't flow. Like
there was no through line.
Exactly. It was the exact.
Even
no
Fantasia
Donald,
with the orchestra.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. This was just like bam, bam, bam.
This is part of Disney's kind of 6 package films. So we did Saludos Amigos, we did 3 Caballeros, and now we're at Make Mine Music. And then
there's 3
more. So hold on to your belts, everyone. But after we get through this hump, we're flying.
Yeah, we're not going to say what comes after that, but it's good.
But I will say, like, at first I was like, do we even do these movies? But of course we have to do this movie. Like, I was going to say, let's Make Mine Music, but that doesn't make sense. The whole point of Disney Dummies is to go through all of it. So.
We can't call ourselves dummies if we haven't watched literally every one.
Yeah, exactly.
So
this film is a bunch of shorts with music on it, and it was unfinished shorts, essentially. They were kind of like, they had ideas, but through World War II, they weren't able to finish complete ideas. So they're like, hey, we have all these things. Let's put them in this movie, essentially. And some of them, this is probably did you know, but it was like, we're going to take this. This was maybe supposed to be in Fantasia, for example. But instead, let's just kind of flesh it out ever so slightly and put it to music based on like artists who were very popular at the time, like in the 30s and 40s. So the way I think we're going to go through this time for the summary of the show, or at least the movie, is I think let's just talk about each segment one by one, but kind of rapid fire, because I don't think we can really dissect any of it that much. But here it is. We have, so the first one is actually called The Martins and the Coys. And the Martins and the Coys was actually cut from the US video release due to the film's depiction of gun use. So very topical.
Did you guys watch this one?
I don't think we watched that.
I don't know.
It wasn't in the one you watched.
No. That's what I mean. It was cut.
Cool. Gotcha.
But I watched it after. You can find it on YouTube.
Oh,
is it worth it?
Is it worth it?
Definitely not. The end, I was just like, oh, domestic violence. How fun. Like, it's the punchline of the whole thing.
Thank you for your decisiveness.
Yeah.
It's about here. I'll read the summary for this one. It's basically the feud in the mountains broken up when two young people from each side inadvertently fall in love.
Oh, real Romeo and Juliet vibes.
And then there's gun use, so I don't know how.
Yeah, real Romeo and Juliet vibes. Oh no, wait, they didn't have guns.
The Leonardo DiCaprio one did.
Yeah, true. Classic.
And then, so we're going to move on to the Blue Bayou.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm trying to remember. Is this? Oh, this was the opening one with the bird.
The heron.
The heron, and it's just so slow, like pushing in, very still images.
Yep.
And then just a bunch of birds
Real
kind of
snooze
flying.
It's really short, though. It's like super short.
Did anybody want to comment on anything about this? All I wrote was, there's nothing happening.
I wrote, of course it's a bird. Ugh.
I wrote that it was very pretty, but I could have done as a poster.
That's amazing. It did give me some, like a couple of songs that I was thinking of through that short were Baby Mine and also Love is a Song. It kind of evoked those
and a
two
little bit of
me.
like Bambi-esque, like
yeah, exactly.
The
showers.
background.
Yeah.
When
for
they're
sure.
dancing in the field together.
The next one we're looking at is All the Cats Join In, which is the jazz interlude. Any thoughts on this one? This is the one with the pencil kind of drawing the action. And the pencil is kind of drawing all these humans that have like really beady eyes. And they're kind of like, I think it's when they roll up on the diner and it feels like an Archie comic where they're all at the malt shop. And they're just dancing and having ice cream.
Yeah. Seems harmless from the outside.
I was like, wow, lots of diversity here. And then and then they like erase the girl's butt to give her a thinner waist, and like
didn't love it.
Yeah, didn't love it. And then like all the women in this whole, like, not this just short, but their waists are like invisible. Like their arms cover their waist.
Some real Barbie stuff going on. And also like the little sister at the beginning watching her big sister get ready to go out and like trying to like putting on makeup and dressing in like short skirts and stuff, and kind of showing how like the expectations of female appearance are very learned.
Yeah,
really like
it was all pretty gross and dated.
For sure.
I think we should also talk about that. Like, this is jazz music, and it's a bunch of white kids kind of appropriating jazz music for their sock hops or whatever the hell they're doing. And it's like jazz music sung by white people. Also, not a great look for Disney. Didn't love that.
No, didn't love it. No.
It wasn't for me. Although I will say, I immediately thought it was a step up from the previous one.
From Blue Bayou?
Because I was just like, oh, things are moving.
Yeah, the animation I liked.
Yeah.
I love when Disney shows animation like happening, like when they show the process, even though I'm sure it's not the real process, but like they've got the pencil in there making the things kind of come to life. I love when they do that, and they've done it in a few
I'm a
films
sucker
already.
for that too, just like in any animation where you're like, hey, I'm gonna draw the solution for you, like this is a blank page, let's draw a railing for this kid, and the kid will go down the railing. Like that's fun for me. But yeah, it was whatever.
The blonde guy in this looked like a grown-up Caillou. I had to get that in there.
Wouldn't that be a hot take?
I don't know if that's a hot take. It's not that hot. It's just a fact.
It's a fact. The next one is called Without You, and this one is the Ballad of Lost Love. Now, I think this I also wrote, this sucks.
I don't remember this one, and I literally watched it half an hour ago.
I wrote, the stars are crying. Meh.
I think this is the one with the dead trees. And then there's like sparkles on the ground, and then there's a lot of windows with like snow and abstract colors.
Oh wait, is this the one with the dancers?
No, not yet. This is just like a bunch of nothing for a few minutes. Yeah, so I'm gonna move on because I was also like, this is a snooze. And at this point in the movie, I'm like, this movie, I really don't like this movie. I was like, and we're like, what, 10 minutes in? And I'm like, do we have to watch the hour of this movie? But then the next short, I'm like, all right, here we go. We get to be a little bit kooky, which, this one has problems, but at least I found it like fun. There are some fun elements to this, which is Casey at the bat.
Oh, what a lark to ride out to the park and just to see Casey. They travel for miles and they stand in the aisles. And just to see Casey, the ladies don't understand baseball a bit. They don't know a strike from a foul or a hit.
I hated this one.
Okay. When this came on, I got incredibly excited because, as I mentioned in previous episodes, I go to Disney World a lot. Just kidding. But like when I was a kid, we went to Disney World for the first time. And I remember we got lunch at this restaurant in a corner with these great striped red and white awnings. And it was called Casey's Corner. And they had like ragtime music and baseball cartoons playing. And so when this came on, I was like, oh my God, it's Casey. I've eaten at his restaurant.
Wow, he gets his own restaurant.
Yeah, despite being a failure, spoiler, he has his own restaurant.
Wow.
At Disney World. I don't think the cartoon actually runs the restaurant, but I do believe it is named after him.
Sam, you didn't like this one, right?
No, I just kept wishing it was over. It was so boring. I don't care about baseball. I don't care a bunch of white dudes playing baseball.
See,
and I was just like, I don't give a fuck about any of these people. The gags are fun. I get it. It's like a gag cartoon, but it's not enough to like salvage it for me.
I was making fun of baseball, right?
Yeah, that's what I found. That's what I found. It's like I like animated things do baseball, like when The Simpsons did it, when South Park did it, or Wet Hot American Summer did it, and like for this, it's just every time you depict baseball in a really like ridiculous way, that's when I like baseball, because the actual sport of baseball, I don't love. I don't love it at all. But this one, I thought that was really fun because there's a lot of like crazy animation going on. It was really manic is probably the best way to describe it, because there's like a lot of scenes where like the umpire's going freaking nuts and like the people in the crowd are just like ready to riot and just like punching each other because Casey isn't swinging his bat. And I love like I thought this would have been a really bad short if Casey was really good at the end, because he misses and he ends up crying. And at the very end of the short, he's like swinging his bat and still missing. That's fun to me.
Yes, absolutely. And it like, I think it really subverted expectations, at least my expectations. I was like, oh, Casey's going to be the hero. And then he wasn't, and yet still got the restaurant named after him. So not sure exactly how that worked, but
I zoned out here because like the way you're telling the story, I'm like, oh, there was an actual story. I like super was just like, there's some gags happening with baseball. I didn't even like clue in that after strike 2, like I was supposed to care that he's like missed it twice. I was just like, oh, we're only on strike 2.
You don't know about 3 strikes.
I did, but that's why I was like, oh, why is this only on strike 2? I'm bored.
But I feel like they got it because they covered everything. Like they had the super dramatic ump, they had the confrontational coach, they had the like ridiculous throwing of the pitching signs, and the coaches on third base giving like the running signals, and the fans throwing beer bottles on it. Like I loved all of it. I wrote, this is the worst game of baseball I've seen since Game 5 of the 2015 ALDS series. And I stand by that. Baseball fans, you know what I mean.
And Sam and I don't.
Wow. Okay.
But I assume that also should have been saved for hot takes. So last thing is like I like the animation of like how crazy it got like when the people were on the bases and they were waiting for Casey to swing, and it got really crazy. Like the people at the bases were like kind of jumping up and down, and one of them was like choking himself waiting to run, which I thought was like, this is nuts. Like, and there's a really great gag where just a visual gag where every single one of the players on the field are throwing baseballs at once.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make any sense at all, but everybody's throwing a baseball to each other.
And it's an exaggerated version of what happens between plays on an actual baseball field. So I think that's why it's funny to me.
Right. Anyways, I think at this point, this one's definitely the best one. And I did like this one. I think it went a little bit long, but I like this one.
Yeah, it's the best of the 4 so far.
We're going to move on to Two Silhouettes. So this is the one with the ballet dancers.
I have a question about this one for Sam.
Yeah.
Sam, is this rotoscoping?
I was going to say rotoscoping is my word of the day.
Yes. I think you mentioned it before and I remembered it. So your teachings have worked.
Yes, I'm glad.
Yeah. So I did not pick up on that, but
you couldn't tell they were just like real people. Like, did it not look just straight up like real people to you?
Oh, no. I just forgot what rotoscoping meant.
Oh.
But yes, I was going to mention, like, I was like, are these real people? And then I'm like, no, these are definitely real people. And in fact, they are the same. Oh, I guess you might cover this on the Diginos, but they were used in a previous movie that we've seen.
Yes, they sure were.
But you can cover that.
We'll save it.
We'll save it. Did you guys like this one?
It's fine. It was two people dancing.
Yeah, I would have liked it more if it wasn't rotoscoped. I feel like it would have been more fun.
If it was animated?
Yeah. But this one, they're like just dancing in the forest, and they dance to like more like Bambi backdrops.
Yeah, it's not like very
kind of
cartoony or anything.
Because Bambi is the best movie so far, so they want to do callbacks to it.
Hey, we didn't say if we love this movie yet.
The backgrounds are beautiful, I think. I mean, as much as I didn't really care for this one, I do think the backgrounds in a lot of these are like really nice.
Right. How about Peter and the Wolf?
And there is also a wolf.
Whoa.
Like, have you got... I'd seen this one before.
I recognize it, but I don't think I've ever seen the full thing.
I think I had the book. I don't know if I watched it, but I think I had like the Disney book that goes with the story.
Right.
So kind of knew it. Didn't love it. Not my favorite story.
I thought this one was better. Again, I think it's top 2 of the ones that we've seen, which isn't saying much. But yeah, it's a pretty long one. But there's, this one's about Peter, who wants to hunt a wolf and prove himself, basically. So he steals his grandpapa's gun. Grandpapa's gun that has like a little cork stopper on it. And he meets a couple friends along the way. He meets Sasha. I think that's the bird. And then he meets Sonia, which is confusing, the duck. And he meets that other one, Ivan, I think it's the cat.
Yes.
Yeah.
The cat.
So there's 4 of them, and they're basically all kind of become friends very quickly. They're a little bit of a group.
They always walk in a line.
They always walk in a line. And then the wolf tries to get at them and try to eat them all, but he's like the worst wolf ever because he waits so long before he bites down.
He's a real drama queen.
Yeah, what do we think about this? Any highlights for this one?
Well, also all the characters are different instruments. So that's like the point of this story.
Yes, I did really like that quite a lot, both like as a concept and also visually seeing the cartoon instruments morph into the characters. That was really neat.
Yeah.
There's a great on Spotify, you can listen to David Tennant narrate Peter and the Wolf.
Oh, that'd be okay. The narrator in this version is Sterling Holloway, who also voices Winnie the Pooh and Caw the Snake.
These are all Diginos.
And the Cheshire Cat.
And the Stork and Dumbo.
Oh, the Stork and Dumbo. Yeah, so we've met him before.
So this is his best role, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm going to say I just wrote The Wolf Sucks at Eating. I think there's a fun gag, I think, where the platypus duck, whatever, is being chased by the wolf, and they kind of swap between like one's on the ice and one's in the water. I thought that was a little bit fun. And other than that, it was fine. I think the hunters that came in later were a little doofy, but
they were doofy. I did like the little one like bouncing up and running with them, but it was like a nice animation gag. But
so in the original version, I think the duck actually does die.
I think they might all die. Alive.
Yeah.
And with this one, it's alluded. Well, not alluded. They trick you because they're like, oh, they're in heaven now. And then later you're like, oh, the duck was hiding in the tree this entire time. And you're like, you're supposed to feel that it's like, oh, great, the duck's alive. This is fantastic. But in reality, you're like, oh, so you just hid in the tree and your friends could have died for real.
Oh, yeah, that's not very nice, I guess.
That's how I felt.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Coward, a scaredy duck.
Anything else you want to add to this, Laura or Sam?
Well, there's some like interesting political implications, but I'll save it for Diginos.
Okay. Sam?
No.
Okay. I feel like we don't have much to say about this movie, but I'm trying to drag it out.
Yeah, that's fine.
Give the people what they want. They waited 2 weeks for this.
They want the Diginos.
They want the Diginos. The next one is called After You've Gone. And this is the one with the anthropomorphized instruments with the piano, the bass, the snare, the bass drums, the cymbal, and the clarinet.
Oh, yeah, this is like my favorite one.
They're parading through the musical background. So
good and cute.
Good, cute, short.
Yeah.
We're done. Yeah.
And colorful, very colorful and creative. Like I was like, this is good. Doesn't need a story.
I don't remember anything about this one other than like what it is. And it's probably my favorite because it's done. It's not, you don't have to think about it. We're good.
So we're going to move on to the next one, which
Yeah.
I think might be one of my favorites.
This one was pretty cute.
This one's pretty cute.
Kind of weird.
This one's kind of weird, but I thought it was pretty cute.
The bucking hat.
This is Johnny Fedora and Alice.
Alice Bluebonnet.
But Johnny Fedora lost Alice Bluebonnet to a patron of the department store. Her beauty was sought by the girl she was bought by for $23.94.
And that's the thing is, like, with this one, I actually remembered the song.
Yeah.
Because I was like, everything else I can't remember for my life. But this one, there was an actual story to the song, even though it gets kind of weird at some points. But I thought it was kind of cute.
Yeah.
Kind of cute.
Yeah.
I've never seen an animated world of hats before.
Me neither.
So I thought that was a cool angle.
Yeah. I liked it.
Sam?
I feel like you're just giving Pixar ideas. Hats. It's going to be
Well,
their next movie.
that's-
Hats. And they're in love.
That's my hot take.
Was it?
Yeah, that was my hot take.
I'm
Was that,
sorry.
this should be a Pixar movie?
I said this there. Well, I guess I'll handle my hot take now. It's basically, yes, this should be a Pixar movie, and there's not enough. There's like, I can't think of any other animated thing that has to do with the world of hats. So it could definitely be a thing. Let's
Cats, but hats.
The Secret Life of Hats.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I don't know. This one, you get Johnny Fedora, you got the Blue Bonnet,
Yeah.
Alice Blue Bonnet. They're kind of at the store together.
They're in love.
They're in love. They fall in love very quickly. Alice gets taken or bought for $29.95. Very expensive.
That's a lot.
Very expensive for the time.
Yeah.
And then Johnny Fedora is like, oh man. And then he gets bought.
He lives a hard life after that.
Yeah, he gets beat the shit up. Like two dogs get at him at some point. He gets in like a fist fight.
Oh, when he almost
at the
went down the
bar.
drain, I was really terrified.
And then at the very end, they both get kind of like cut up
Yeah.
to be hats for horses, which I thought was weird.
But I think that's the dream, though. I think that's the point. At the end, they're both living the dream.
Do they not feel pain from being cut up?
No, they're fine.
They're
All right.
happy because they get to be together
They're
now.
inanimate.
Yeah.
They have feelings, but not physical feelings.
All right.
Only emotions.
I see. And that brings us to the very last one, which I think is also a ridiculous premise that I think could also be part of a grander movie, but it's called Finale, The Whale Who Wanted to Sing at the Met.
This is how it all began. Just a little back page item about a voice that sang at sea.
Oh, yeah.
So I think this is a great just idea for a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And essentially it's about this sperm whale named Willie who is really great at singing, has a fantastic opera voice, basically can sing in 3 different ranges because of the way his lungs work.
Because he's got those 3 tonsils or whatever they are.
Yeah. And then word gets out from Teti Tati, whatever, Impressio, I don't know, the bad guy.
The bad guy.
The bad guy.
That
in
Italian
this.
dude.
And he wants to capture Willie. And I think he wants to kill him. I think he thinks that there's no way a whale can sing at the opera or can sing at all. So he must have eaten a bunch of opera singers. We must kill this whale. Turns out this whale can sing very, very well. And then we get, a couple different fun stuff where the whale's singing on the boat. And then the 3 people who are out to kill Willie end up really liking him.
Yeah.
And they don't want the Teti Tati guy to kill the sperm whale. And then we get kind of like an imaginary sequence where Willie gets to actually sing at the Met and gets very, very famous and starts singing all over the place. He is at one point a clown. He sings with the fat
Tristan
lady
Isolde.
at the
Yeah.
opera, sings as Mephisto. It's very ridiculous. And then at the end, he does end up dying for real.
Yeah.
But it ends on a happy note because in heaven, he sold out heaven to sing.
Okay,
there.
but how did he
Yeah.
die?
He got shot
Yeah.
Oh.
by a harpoon.
The harpoon got him. I feel like the end is
Wow.
kind of a bummer though, because it basically says like it's okay that he died because you'll hear him forever when you die.
Yeah, what a downer.
I wasn't very comforted by that.
Actually, it gets kind of real because there's a little bit, I'm going to paraphrase here, but it's the narrator says something like, oh, he died, but it's okay because the world wasn't ready for how special he was. And it's like, that's really sad.
That's not okay.
I don't know about that.
So sad.
I also have to point out that their proportions of this whale are way off. When he's singing in the opera hall, he is as tall as like the 5-story hall itself, and I just don't think that, well, not even 5 stories. It's like where did they host the Oscars?
I think
if the whale was as tall as the entire that's not real, right?
And I as a kid probably thought that was real. I feel like cartoons like ruin things for me. When we went on safari last year and I saw a real elephant for the first time, I was like, I thought he'd be bigger.
You were disappointed.
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm an idiot. Like, whales aren't that big.
Did you ever go to the opera and then think like, oh, I thought there was going to be a whale?
I mean, no.
I do have to point out on this one that they do another like crappy thing that they did in Dumbo, where they basically do like animated blackface, where it's a white man kind of singing as a black man for one of the like songs he does as a whale. Oh. So Disney, I just want you to know that we're watching you still. Still not okay.
I find it's like disappointing because I feel like as a bunch of artists in Disney, they just like never use their voice for good things. And like with all coming out, I'm just like, I don't see them doing it now, and we definitely didn't see them doing it then. And it's just like, who are you? What are you doing?
Well, and especially like a movie that incorporated so many different kinds of music. And have, like, not a single black song.
And they they spent 2 movies taking us like to South America and trying to be like, look at us, like getting to know everyone.
But like, as we know, Disney has a lot of work to do when it comes to this topic, but we are especially judging it by its lens from back then, right? Like the 40s to even now, like especially in the 40s, very, very racy, you know?
Yeah.
So,
well, racist more than racy.
Yes, racist, yeah.
Like they could have been doing more.
Yeah.
Still good for us to talk about, though.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of brings it into the summary now. I think any of us have nostalgia for this movie, so we're going to skip that part. So I think the final thing is, how did we feel about this movie?
Boo.
I instantly forgot it.
Yeah. I forgot it, and I just watched it before we started this
2 days ago.
I just can't wait to get past this hump.
Yeah.
3 more, baby.
3 more. But I'm glad we're watching it because it's all legacy stuff, and now we can say we watched it. Yeah. So
it's interesting from like a historical standpoint, like looking at the animation, like, and where it's come. But I don't know. That's about it. This is like great to see what you were doing, but won't watch it again.
We're building the foundation of our knowledge, and I cannot wait for that movie that's after the packaged movies.
I looked. It's going to be bangers from after those movies.
It's going to be. Or
at least like movies that we can tolerate watching.
Yep.
But I'm done my segment, Sam. So back to you.
All right. Well, thanks, Tung. So I know you touched on we got a little into Did You Know territory, tiny bit there. But why don't we take it over to Laura now for the rest of them?
Yeah, and Tung called me on it earlier. I may have shared all of my Did You Knows already, most of them, but I think I got 1 or 2 I can scrounge up here. Tung kind of alluded to this, but didn't say it outright. So the animation from the Blue Bayou sequence, so the pretty one that should have been a poster and not a movie about a bird. So that animation was originally meant for a sequence of Fantasia that never actually made it into the film. It was deleted. And that was set to Claire de Lune, a very popular piece of music.
Oh, I could see that.
Debussy. So that'd be kind of cool. And you can definitely see like it's sort of like impressionist vibes kind of aligning with that type of music. And Tung mentioned also earlier that the dancers in the 2 Silhouettes short, so the 2 ballet dancers, their names are David Lickney and Tatiana Ryabuchinska. And they were the basis for 2 characters in Fantasia, the ballet sequence of Fantasia. And those characters were the alligator and the hippo, a.k.a. Hyacinth. Maybe the alligator had a name, but I don't remember it. Hyacinth was good.
Wait, the hippo, his name is Hyacinth?
Hyacinth the hippo, yeah.
Interesting.
It's interesting because you know what a hyacinth is.
I know what a hyacinth is now. I know a lot about flowers.
Yes, indeed.
Hyacinths.
Yes, indeed. So there's a fun one for you. Peter and the Wolf was originally developed to be like a so they have, I can't remember what they're called in Russia, but it's like the equivalent to the Boy Scouts, and it was supposed to be like getting kids to rat on their parents by like drafting them into this like young Soviets thing. And this movie was meant to be like, look how successful Peter is when he sold out his grandpa or something like that. Like they were really, it was propaganda is what I'm saying.
His grandpapa.
His grandpapa. And so the US being an ally to to Russia, and this coming out after World War II. So when the US was further away from Germany than ever, and also Walt, you know, if he did have ties to Germany, he has abandoned them by that point, I imagine. Probably felt a lot more comfortable producing this than he might have been done 6 years earlier. So there's a little history for you folks. Feel free to, that was a very brief look into it from Laura. I don't really know much about history, but you can check it out. Yeah, if you want to learn a little bit more about that, maybe look into that period of history, because I'm not super confident about anything I just said.
Okay.
But good history lesson, Laura. Additional deleted shorts. Covered that. Sterling Holloway. Yep. Casey's Corner. We're done.
We're done.
All of
Wow.
my did you knows. So apparently you did know. Because we told you earlier in this episode.
That's right.
Did you guys find any did you knows, or
Nope, you took
dare
them
I
all.
say fun facts? There's really not a
There's
lot.
not a lot.
There's
Not a lot.
No.
But I bet
No.
you there's a ton of
I
animation.
bet you Sam has some hot angles.
I don't. I guess I've already talked about rotoscoping. It was going to be my word of the day, but
God, I'm so sorry.
yeah, been there, done that. I don't know. It's just more cartoony, zany. Would be fun if the stories didn't suck stuff, you know?
Okay.
I think that's fair. Let's
yeah.
throw in the towel. You know what? This movie, we don't need to talk about it anymore.
No, we gotta finish with hot takes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. What was I thinking?
I'll take us away with that one.
Go on, Sam.
Peter is just a blonde Pinocchio.
There.
Wow.
Less cute.
That's cute.
Less cute Pinocchio.
Does he lie though?
No, but I don't know. Maybe we didn't get much time with him. So
You're right. That's good. My hot take is Peter's grandpapa can make a living by using, because he at one point he uses his beard to make like a shadow puppet.
Mm-hmm.
And
That was cool.
That was really cool. I thought that was like a fun thing, but I think he can make like some sort of, I think he can monetize that a little bit, because if he can make a monster with his beard, what else can he make with his beard that can sell for money? That's my hot take.
Hot.
couldn't he have just used that shadow technique to like scare away the wolf then?
Oh yeah.
Well, now
He
that
needs
you
a wall.
mention it.
He needs a wall. You can't do that in the outdoors.
Maybe wolves can
I
see
guess.
3 dimensions better, and they're like less afraid or something.
Yes.
I don't know how wolf's eyes work.
A wall is a
I
dimension.
don't know.
I have a hot take. I'm now calling all songs tone poems.
All right.
All right, that's one of the
Tone poems.
that was one of the subtitles
That's what
for
Blue
one.
Bayou was, a tone poem, not a song. A tone poem.
I like that. Tongue? Anything else?
Oh, you ran out of hot takes, Sam?
I that is literally all I had.
Okay, here's my stretches. I said Casey is a bad baseball player. Of course, that's not a hot take. We just know this. I said give us a movie about a singing whale. That could be something.
Yeah.
And give us a movie about animated hats. So I already went
Yeah.
through that as well.
Well, I have follow-ups on both of those.
Go ahead.
The first is I misread one of the, all the banners announcing what show that Willie the Whale was performing in.
Yeah.
I misread one as Willie the Whale as Mr. Mistopheles, and I must say that's a show that I'd like to see.
In cats?
Yes.
You wish whale was a cat?
Yep.
Okay.
I like it.
Johnny Fedora, secretly Donald Duck in hat form. What do you think?
Okay.
Look at the eyes.
I mean,
Look
sure.
at the eyes.
I'll
Revisit.
take it.
I was gonna go with like Cappy from like Super Mario Odyssey. You know, Sam, do you know that one?
Yeah. I like Cappy. I like that.
All right.
Oh, that cappy. Yeah.
That thing.
That hat that you throw on dinosaurs so
That's
you become
right.
a dinosaur.
There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so hot when you know that.
I know.
Wow.
And my last hot take. Hot. You know the guy, the hunter who's carrying the wolf's tail at the end, who's like not actually doing anything but trying to make it look like he's doing something?
Uh-huh.
Donald Trump.
Wow.
I like it.
Here's a hot take. Very last hot take to close this segment here is every single week we talk about which character fucks. No characters fuck
well, this is-
in this movie.
Honestly, no characters fucking.
That's my hot take. We've
Oh
made
my
it 8
God.
episodes. No characters fuck. Make my music sucks.
Hang on.
Go ahead.
Alice Bluebonnet definitely fucks.
Yeah, she's right.
And you know who she fucks?
Johnny Fedora?
Johnny Fedora.
All right.
Now let's move on it.
All right, maybe I thought we finally found a movie where no character does that, but if you guys agree, then we did it.
Oh boy, what a day.
All right. Yeah. Well, I guess that's the end, folks. Join us next week when we go into Fun and Fancy Free Me.
I actually watched this one as a kid, so I'm curious to go back. Yeah, but I don't remember anything about it. But this has Mickey on the front. So
fun! I love him.
So Mickey's in this.
Is it like Mickey in the parade?
I don't remember. I just remembered the box, and I can only remember Mickey at the front of the box. So
you know what? Maybe I have seen this one.
Yeah, I think it's one of the more popular ones of this like 6-movie bunch.
I've never seen it, but I look forward to it.
Do you know like most of the episodes? Man, that's 12 weeks of just watching these types of movies, like the 6 really bad ones. Yeah. That's too much.
Yeah. It sucks.
But we're gonna get through it, and on the other side, we've got
stuff.
Probably a lot more problematic stuff to discover, but we're looking forward to it.
But listen, folks, we love Disney at its core. I mean, you know, maybe not its political stances or anything, but we're all dummies around here. Yeah. And if we got to watch this, watch it along with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Might as well.
Yeah.
We're on a journey.
Mm-hmm.
It is a journey. Real ride. Cool. Well, I guess we'll see y'all next time for Fun and Fancy Free.
I can't wait. I hope it's not as hot. Oh, are we launching right into? I'm not ready yet.
Play around.
Pause.
Okay, wait.
What were you gonna say? Not as hot? What does that mean?
I was just saying, like, it's really hot today.
Okay.